And with this, Max Caster defeating Ray Pittman 1 week ago, he said, I want someone who is a seasoned veteran who maybe could teach me something. And he got that and then some, because there was a Dan Barry seminar before we went on the air here at the White Eagle, and I was overhearing a lot, and man, he could definitely teach a lot of people a lot of things, and he's going to look to teach Max Caster 10,000 lessons here tonight.
Paul, I think with a lot of the competitors that have kind of a silly exterior, I think a lot of it boils down to head game. We know that in order to be a professional wrestler, you have to be tough, you have to be resilient, especially for somebody like Dan Barry, as long as he's been doing it.
And look at that. That is lesson number one. Always be on guard. So many times in our sport, guys get conditioned to go in there and think, all right, we'll have a feeling out process, we'll get rough and tumble in there, but sometimes it could be something just like that that could get the win.
You know, part of me having to question Platinum Max's strategy is obviously he's coming from television. He's staying up all night and flying into Wrestling Open every week, which is something he certainly doesn't have to do, but he wants to do. So obviously we love having him here just along with everybody else that signs up for Wrestling Open. But Dan Barry, once again, going for a pinning combination, and you have to wonder how much fatigue is going to play a factor. And at least one thing on Platinum Max's side is that one way or another, this match isn't going to go longer than 10 minutes.
No, and that's the thing about Dan Barry. I feel like, yes, he wants to get a win, but he's smart enough to know that if he can just stretch this thing out and go the distance, he will also win $10,000. All you need is a draw.
Just have to survive 10 minutes in the ring with Max Caster.
And that is why I'm starting to think maybe Max Caster started this thing off with the best of intentions, but quickly realized, I don't even need to lose. Hold on. Look at that reversal.
Dan Barry all the way out. Finds himself with his shoulders pinned to the mat. Platinum Max is second away from losing his $10,000. And here's another pin from Dan Barry.
So many times we've seen Max Caster win with the figure four last week or just go for the leg for damage. Dan Barry has seen it coming. So smooth is Dan Barry.
Well, here's what I know about Platinum Max Caster. He's a huge individual. Very thickly muscled, very tall athlete. I also think he's a very conservative wrestler, and as a result, you don't see him make too many mistakes. Dan Barry right there, eyes in the back of his head, sensed that a strike was incoming, able to duck out of the way and rattle off a number of jabs as well as a chest chop. But this is where Dan Barry makes a mistake, or maybe he's playing human chess, thinking 3 steps ahead.
Oh, did you see the knee? The knee right there, it buckled just a hair.
I saw it, you saw it. Did Max Caster see it? Does he know that that's a target on Dan Barry right now?
That was going to be my next question. I wonder if Max Caster saw it.
Is Caster hurt right now?
Is he hurt, or is he just realizing what a fight he's in for, and maybe he's bit off more than he can chew? As look at that ankle pick and going right after it. He seized on that opening.
That's a great screen from Max Caster. Obviously, not the most ethical way to go about winning your professional wrestling match, preserving your $10,000. But with $10,000 at stake, you can't really call into question some of these tactics.
That knee crumples, and look at that dragon screw leg whip from Caster. And on that hook of the leg, he went for the top near the ankle to really cinch it backwards and to add more pain to what Dan Barry is already going through.
I think the Max Caster that we see at Wrestling Open is a little bit different than the Max Caster that we see on television. I think he comes to Wrestling Open to try and hone a different skill set. We've seen Max Caster a little bit more technical, a little bit more focused on mat-based wrestling when he's here at the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts.
And to answer your question from earlier, I do think Max Caster came in here to give back to independent wrestling, but when 10 grand is on the line and you suddenly realize that these young, hungry, and veterans are coming at you with everything, I think your mindset and your mentality changes and you realize, I really have to get nasty.
Oh, $10,000, jump in there. That's rent-free here.
Well, Dan Barry on Twitter said it's his student loans that he's looking to pay off, but either way, $10,000 on the line. Irish whip reversed, and there's a crushing back elbow from Platinum Max.
Caster was so quick to close the distance.
Gonna get the shoulders down.
Though. Another one of these pinning combinations. We've seen almost every one. He's got Caster's weight stacked to use his momentum against him, and also good coverage on the shoulders. Caster continues to kick out, now a pin of his own.
And again, a unique hook. Usually you see someone go for the middle of the knee to pull back, but he's twisting that leg in different ways to try to pick apart Dan Barry.
Caster thought he had Dan Barry down long enough to hit that mic drop. Dan Barry surprisingly back up to his feet, and Caster finds himself precariously placed on that top strand.
Going to the top rope, could it end the same way it did for his locked and loaded partner, 50 cal, or could it be another way for Dan Barry to get $10,000?
5 minutes have elapsed in this $10,000 challenge match. 5 minutes remaining.
What is he doing? I think his knee. Well, whatever it was, the top rope Hurricane Rana, he was able to get enough in that knee to pull it off. And can he pull off $10,000, DC?
Well, I think Dan Barry just bought himself a minute or two, as we've already surpassed the halfway point of the 10-minute, $10,000 challenge.
Up to a count of 4. Max Caster, he needs to be the one to step on the gas pedal here, as Dan Barry up to his feet, but he's not 100% on these strikes. Can't get his leg fully into it. Hits the neck breaker.
Rolling into the pin, hooking the leg ball.
So close to $10,000 was Dan Barry, but Platinum Max continuing to hang on here at Summer Stunner.
6 minutes have elapsed in this $10,000 challenge match.
Now, Paul, you've called a number of these $10,000 challenges. Do you think Dan Barry's strategy right now is to try and stay on the attack, or is it more of a game of cat and mouse?
It's that classic Mike Tyson line, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I think game plans are out the window as he almost pinned the shoulders to the mat to pick up the victory, as Caster trying to get some breathing room here. There's the dive, and he landed on that knee. It could have been awkward on that landing. He took a big risk, but is it going to pay off?
Well, Dan Barry's just staying foot on the gas pedal. He wants to know the time from Palladino.
We're almost up to the 7-minute point as he yelled at Rich Palladino. How much time do I have left here? As we are closing in on 7 minutes.
Looking to take another big risk, maybe a 450, maybe a shooting star, maybe just a big splash. Oh no!
Tried that senton and he missed. That is his big move,
7
and he
minutes have
missed.
elapsed in this $10,000 challenge match.
Oh, look at that, look at that. Was looking for the inside cradle. Caster was able to
He
avoid.
saw it coming. It's happened so many times to him at this point that he saw it coming, and that is it. The knee was damaged too much. Platinum Max is your winner.
The time of the fall, 7 minutes, 13 seconds. Here is your winner by submission, the best wrestler alive, Platinum Max Caster.
And he has to be very careful here. Do not put your hands on an official. He is teetering on the brink there, but nonetheless, holding on to $10,000, overcoming Dan Barry here at Summer Stunner.
Well, if the official was to reverse the decision, that would be a whole other controversy that Max Caster would be involved with. But for right here, right now, he's living with that $10,000.
The question is, who is going to be next to step up?